we've got a car, an EV, that was introduced in its first form from Jaguar, the I-Pace. Now, the I-Pace came out earlier in the year, and it didn't quite stack up to competition. What we found was that wonderful looking car. I took it for a test drive. It is quick, it's fast, it handles very well, but it's got issues on the range side of things. It's not as efficient as other EVs are in its segment. And it's a limited amount of space on the interior. So even though it is quite a large SUV-looking vehicle, inside it's limited on its available space. And of course, the range is the other big hit for the efficiency. And what was announced this week was that a number of Jaguar dealers in the U.S. have been discounting the car heavily, to the tune of $20,000 discounts being given in a number of different markets, where the car typically being sold for about 65 to 70 is being reduced by 20K right off of that. So obviously Jaguar is trying to move a number of units that haven't, or dealers are trying to do the same, trying to get them off the books and being pushed out the door with those discounts. Now, I can say, after test driving one of these vehicles, if you can live with the range, the car's spectacular. Like, really, it drives really nice. It holds the road nicely. And, man, the acceleration it's almost Tesla-like. It's a fast car. And I think it looks great. The outside of it, the exterior, looks wonderful. It's just that range problem and efficiency is not as good. But if you're using the car as a regional car, certainly you will be able to get away with that. I guess it depends on your situation. Everyone's situation is different, but looking at that, it's reasonable to say that the car would do well for most.
Okay, Dave,
go ahead. Tom.
234 miles.
Yeah.
I mean,
we're not really talking about like a neighborhood vehicle here,
right?
No,
yeah.
you can even go to the next state. You don't want to do multiple charging stops, just because of the nature of the network.
Okay, how many times have we discussed on this show? How many people on a regular basis drive coast to coast, not cannibal? Okay, Casey, you're the one person this car is not for. The other 99.9999999% would do just fine with 234 miles of range per day.
And that's what I was about to bring up, is most people who have a vehicle like this, unless you're a single person, it's not usually going to be your only vehicle. So if you have another vehicle, say a Tesla or an ICE, that can do the long distance, or if you don't do coast to coast, you get on an airplane, why even consider that all your cars need to be able to do? Again,
it's not a city car. This is a regional vehicle.
Yeah,
it can go to multiple cities around you. It's not like it's, and of course, with Charge America and other networks that are building up, you're going to have that ability to go further. It's not as seamless as, say, a Tesla and a supercharger network, but for the amount that you're saving, you got to weigh things. It's going to make sense to a number of people. It certainly will.
So you've got a territory, like you're a salesperson or a traveling doctor, for instance. As long as you're only making one stop, it's still very seamless. If you're going to the, like, say, somewhere 400 miles away, okay, you're making one stop, no big deal. It's the only time there's any math or work or mapping involved is just because the network isn't there yet. They're working on it. Is if you have to make multiple trips,
My only concern with the vehicle and with Jaguar as a whole is this was their first kick at the can at a major EV. This is their first try at this. And in some cases, in my opinion, they fell short for the price they were charging. Obviously, this $20,000 discount addresses some of that. But what I really hope does not happen, that Jaguar does not give up. I hope they go to a second level and they go back to the drawing board and said, let's improve on A, B, and C. We know those are issues. Let's roll that into the development of our next vehicle, maybe a year out, and bring back a version 2. That's what they need to do in order to become competitive and to be able to charge the top price they were asking previously at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, like the second gen Volt did. They learned from what we gave them. My favorite is if you go to White Plains, New York, you can get $21,569 off of this car.
Yeah.
Well,
What's that make the final price?
I gotta say,
The final price was initially $88,001.
this is a gorgeous car.
I like the
It
shape.
is. It is a
I'm looking at it,
beautiful
and it's
car.
like style-wise, this is a Jaguar. I'm not a car person in the sense that I don't give a flying fuck about a car as long as it runs properly, and I can get from point A to point B without a problem. But I look at this and I feel honestly, this is a failure both at the price point and at the marketing, because I didn't really see it much on the market. I don't feel it's really been pushed, but the interior is quality. And Jaguar means great driving. And I think that's, as Mark was saying, that the handling was great. Because my question is like, why wouldn't it sell? Is the handling there? Is the luxury there? And this is a luxury vehicle. It looks fantastic. And 230 something miles. I have a 2013 Fit. You know how many miles I've put on it in the 4 years I've owned it? 15,000 miles. That's it. I am the perfect person for this car, and I am not unique because all I have to do is truck around town and maybe go up to SAC and come back down. This is for the person who wants to have a luxury vehicle that saves them a lot of gas and is sustainable. It's beautiful. It's a status symbol, and Jaguars are status symbols. I don't really feel the price point was too high in the sense that the person who would buy a Jaguar wouldn't pay $70K, but I don't feel that it was properly marketed here. And I think that's a strong failure on the part of Jaguar's group, that they didn't put the effort that they put normally into their cars into this. Because this should have had some great spots. This should have really been pushed, and it wasn't pushed. And because everything else about it just screams luxury vehicle. And we're not buying a Jaguar for its endurance for a 500-mile road race. We're buying it because we're rich ponces and we're going out there showing off the fact that we have a freaking Jaguar. And that's
And you're exactly right.
You
As
can
a
fly first
as a
class
passenger
anywhere.
and a driver, this car was off the charts, just luxury.
Yep.
It is. It's a gorgeous car inside and out.
But I never saw it advertised. I just saw it sitting in the middle of the mall.
Yeah, and that's the problem. What the hell are you doing? You have this vehicle,
Locked.
and you shouldn't be having it just sit in the mall. You're supposed to get out there and put some famous voiceover and go, the Jaguar I-Pace. It's the car for you. That's what you need to be doing, man. What are you doing, marketing people?
You should get
You're
the
sitting there
Jaguar I-Pace.
drinking heavily and smoking weed, and you're not putting out one good piece of advertisement. I'm
Are
sitting
you having a
right here. I
midlife
can market
crisis?
this for you.
Consider the Jaguar I-Pace in red.
I will mention one last thing. For people that are interested in picking up a used vehicle, watch for this car in 2 more years.
Yep.
You are going to get a tremendous discount off the new price as well. So if you're looking at picking up a used vehicle, this is going to be a great one to snatch up once the 3-year leases are over.
Well, now one thing that's not in this article, and I'm scanning it again just to make sure that I didn't miss it. They're talking about the dealers offering, $20,000 to $21,000 off. But doesn't Jaguar still qualify for $7,500?
They do.
They do.
So wouldn't it be the equivalent of $27,500?
I didn't see it in the article, but they could be bundling it in that 20 figure. That's possible that they're doing that. But you're right. It may be more depending. And of course, state incentives on top of that.
Yeah, right. I mean, that would be massive. Holy crap.
So let's keep this in perspective. This is a vehicle that starts between $60,000 to $80,000.
Yeah.
Okay. You're not gonna take this bad boy home for $17,000, but $27,000 off is a huge discount, and
that's almost a third.
33 is a lot better than 60.
And it has a similar range to the Chevy Bolt, and if you get all these discounts and you were shopping, you're like, should I have a Jaguar or a Chevy?
Tell you which one I
Yeah.
Trust me, 30 seconds in the I-Pace, you'll know which one you want.
Not the Bolt. I love the Bolt, but
Yeah.
I would take the I-Pace.
The Bolt's
I
great.
would, these are, wow, this is almost tempting.
Yeah, it's the first time where I really had like a, oh, hey, sexy.
Wait a minute, you've been on the show how many times with me? And this is the first time.
Yeah.
You're more like, hey, serviceable.
How many times have I heard that in my
no.
life?
It works.
Hey,
Long
I guess I'll
relationships
settle
are
for
built
you.
on serviceable.
I tend to go by the name Last Call. I'm not really sure where I heard that name.